Hey guys, so I'm doing my project on insects as a source of protein. And there's an increasing interest in alternative protein sources due to the growing demand for sustainable food systems. Insects can be rich in protein, essential amino acids, and micronutrients. In my presentation, we will explore the pros and cons of using insects as a protein source as well as the future market of insects. With a growing global population, traditional protein sources like meat and fish may not be sustainable in the long term. So we must look to insects for filling some of the gap and easing the need for meat production. Insects are efficient at converting feed into edible body mass and require much less land, water, and feed compared to normal and traditional livestock. So let's talk about some of the pros to using insects as proteins. Insects produce fewer greenhouse gases compared to livestock. They also require less feed and less water and can be farmed in smaller spaces and also be fed organic waste. Many edible insects are higher in protein, which accounts for 30 to 80% of their dry weight. This is comparable to or even higher than conventional meat like chicken or beef or even pork. The insects are also very high in uh, iron, zinc, and B vitamins, and they also contain all of the 9 essential amino acids that we need. And then there's also the economic potential. Um, Farming insects is much more cost effective compared to traditional livestock. It can be conducted on smaller scale and can also benefit rural economies. Excuse me. But now, as always, you have to have cons to just about any subject. Some of the cons that I found for using insects for an alternative protein source are kind of obvious. You know, like many people, they're just not accustomed to eating insects, especially in our country and other Western countries. They are sometimes just viewed as unsanitary or unpleasant, like they're going to taste like gross or just be crunchy and things like that, or maybe even like sour, just basically just being plain unpleasant. But then there's also regulatory and safety concerns. And see now, insect farming and the processing of it is still in its infancy. Appropriate food and safety standards are still being developed and revised. Um, there's also the potential for insects to cause allergic reactions in some people, similar to shellfish, which that is something that was kind of enlightening to me. I didn't think that something like that could happen, but I guess it makes sense because a shellfish allergy in somebody is actually due to a particular protein that are carried in shellfish, not actual iodine. Um, so being that these insects carry a lot of protein, um, I guess I could see that being a potential safety hazard. And then there's also the problem of scaling of production um, to be able to meet the potential global protein demand that it will require. So to do this, it's going to need substantial infrastructure, substantial investments, and then like any other livestock, insects are also susceptible to diseases that could affect the production of them. So we're going to have to figure out what these insects are susceptible to, and then what's a safe alternative for treatment of possible, diseases that these insects could carry, so that they're not, carried over to us as humans. So as we move forward into the future, um, and hopefully things become more standard within this industry, we will hopefully see more products. As awareness increases, demand should increase for insect-based products, and that is expected to rise. So we can see insects being integrated more into our food system. Right now, they can be used in protein-rich animal feed and even processed into a protein powder for human consumption. They right now produce a lot of different flour alternatives that we can use as of now. There are a few products here and there that you'll see on the market that are like insect based, but they're not widespread. Once the awareness and demand improves, there should be more development of insect based snacks, protein bars, even burgers, and possibly even more.